Well, we had a sunny start to the weekend, but the chance for storms picks up tomorrow. Danielle will tell us if we clear up in time for Memorial Day. And Coloradans pause today to remember the local men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. 9 News at 5 is next. And if you weren't in those lines, we are sure hoping that you got to get outside today. Look at that beautiful shot of downtown Denver. You know, the question now is, how long is it going to last? Are we going to have isolated storms? Danielle's here now to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, you know what? It was a great start. Plenty of sunshine out there for you to get out and about, do your thing.
And if you weren't in those lines, we are sure hoping that you got to get outside today. Look at that beautiful shot of downtown Denver. You know, the question now is, how long is it going to last? Are we going to have isolated storms? Danielle's here now to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, you know what? It was a great start. Plenty of sunshine out there for you to get out and about, do your thing, get into the garden, or maybe get a chance to go by the pool. Now this afternoon.
It was a tip that led to the arrest of a woman wanted for aggravated robbery and kidnapping in Greeley. Police received information that 34-year-old Nicole Archuleta Aguirre was at a home in Colorado Springs. Greeley PD asked Colorado Springs police for help. Archuleta Aguirre was arrested a short time later. She was booked into the El Paso County Jail on outstanding warrants. A string of sex assaults on the DU campus and nearby have a lot of students worried. They're asking for more safety measures. University police are trying to figure out if the same man is behind the attacks. Here's Jessica O. Campus police did not give a detailed description of the attacker, but if you know anything about this crime, you're asked to call the tip line at 303-871-3130.
That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Colorado getaways are filling up quick with Memorial Day travelers.
Just how fast spots went at one of our state's most popular trails.
And a few crucial safety tips that can go a long way before before families let their kids in the water. They should go over some basic safety first facts. Drowning remains the #1 cause of accidental death in children. Toddlers up to the age of 4 are most at risk. Safety experts recommend formal swim classes so kids can learn what to do if they get in trouble in the water. Even swim instructors say that's not enough.
No one is ever drown proof. So that's why supervision is critical.
Experts also recommend parents and guardians take turns as what's called the designated kid watcher. That way, at least one person is always closely watching young swimmers. Adults should also learn CPR. Of all the ways to get your dream job, one NFL hopeful has made it loud and clear. He wants to play for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, and he's doing this in an interesting way. For the past month, Abiola Abarishade has stationed himself outside of Gillette Stadium, holding a sign looking for a spot on the team. As a wide receiver, he set a school record his senior year at UMass Dartmouth. He never received an NFL tryout invitation, though, so his strategy is now turning some heads.
I've talked to a few players. Richard's the safety. He drove by and he stopped and he told me, he was like, hey, let me have it. And I pretty much told him, like, I'm trying to get a tryout. I mean, I feel like I've earned it. And he basically told me that he was praying for me, and that was a lot of encouragement.
Well, regardless if he's truly ready for the NFL, he has one desirable trait for any team, and that is perseverance. You never know what might happen.
Yeah, especially when something goes viral. Someone's got to be taking notice.
He'll get their attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, temperatures pick up tomorrow, but with the warmer weather comes the greater chance for storms.
And 4 days before the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Bonnie takes aim at South Carolina. Tropical storm warnings along South Carolina's coast didn't stop some people from going to the beach. There they are. The National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Bonnie formed this afternoon. Coastal areas are expecting several inches of rain, and lifeguards are warning swimmers about possible rip currents, because once those winds start churning, it gets really dangerous out there.
Oh, absolutely. And we do want to bring in meteorologist Danielle Grant. You know, Danielle, Vincent and I were just talking about how, you know, we've been having storms come through, but nowhere near what they're dealing with. And it's nice to see some sunshine starting this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these storms are just going to kind of come and go. 5 days I was talking to you guys about. Looks good.
She had been talking about that, hadn't she? And finally they're coming. Hopefully Memorial Day, though, we'll have enough sunshine to have, what, hot dogs and barbecues?
Yeah, and we really can't focus on that whole Tuesday schmooze day deal. We'll just get past that and then, whoa, that looks awesome.
Yes, absolutely. We still have this glorious weekend. We can get through a couple of afternoon thunderstorms, no problem.
And then the sun comes.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danielle. Well, a factory in China.
Every year, our country's national parks draw in millions of millions of viewers from around the world. Such a beautiful place. And now there is another way to see them. It's a movie called National Parks Adventure. It's in 3D. It's so cool. It's going to be in the IMAX screen over at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. It'll have a world-famous climber, a photographer, an artist. It'll show 30 national parks, of course, all to celebrate the National Park Service 100th anniversary. One of the people here to talk to us today about this is one of the National Park Service's greatest champions, former President Theodore Roosevelt. Mr. President, welcome to our newscast.
A delight to be with you, sir, and your viewers.
Yes, that's right. And he's in character, of course, to help promote this. You're a character, and you go back in time. What was going through your mind when you wanted to help establish a Rocky Mountain National Park as such a treasure?
You might remember that the late 19th century and early 20th century were a time where America was growing. We had tremendous industry, urbanization. We were piling up great wealth, but we were doing so by harvesting our lumber and digging out the minerals, perhaps in no state greater so than here in Colorado, the mining.
And there was a very personal experience for you, too. You had experienced some health problems and wanted to get out of the New York area, and you headed west.
As a young boy, I was terribly asthmatic. And as a young man, I suffered some tragedy in my life. I went out to the Dakota Territory along the Little Missouri River and became a cattle rancher and lived the strenuous life that I preached to the country.
And eventually made your way to Colorado and to the Rocky Mountain National Park, and even spent some time at Estes Park.
Most definitely so, of course. Now, this was before it was a national park. So I did a great deal of hunting throughout Colorado, hunting bear and mountain lion that were still of some detriment to the cattle ranching operations here. But of course, I gave the country Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado, one of my 5 national parks.
And we're seeing some of the pictures of some of the just incredible photographs of our parks here. What went through your mind when you saw some of these ice caves and these cliffs and these beautiful mountains?
Well, what's depicted in the IMAX film, National Parks Adventure, now showing at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, it's within that film that you see John Muir and I at Yosemite. And I said that waking up amongst those giant sequoias, well, it was like waking up and having slept amongst a far grander cathedral, grander than any made by the hand of men.
And what's so cool about this is that you, because of your presidency and what happened in our country at the time, is that these are preserved just like nature made them. Who knows what would have happened to them if you would not have preserved them?
We celebrate now, this year, the centennial of the National Park Service. Our first national park predates me, Yellowstone, in 1872. So the movement for conservation and the movement for national parks has been with us for 150 years, and we hope that National Parks Adventure, the wonderful IMAX film at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, that this will rekindle, for many here in the city and the suburbs as well, a love of the national parks and a desire to go out and have great adventures, just as the individuals in the film are having great adventures, climbing and biking and that sort of thing.
Those pictures are so beautiful. Cannot wait to see this film. The National Parks Adventure runs through September 22nd over at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, as the president just said. Show times are on the museum website, and it is narrated by Robert Redford. So a really neat treat there. Mr. President, thank you so much for
joining. A real delight.
Love the teddy bear.
A teddy bear for you from Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Appreciate that.
Get out and find your park. Bully.
Lightning struck at a park during a children's party in Paris, injuring 11 people, including several children. Firefighters say 4 children and 2 adults were seriously hurt. 1 child is on life support. Firefighters say the victims tried taking shelter under a tree when a sudden storm moved across the park. An off-duty firefighter was first on the scene after hearing about the storm. He immediately began administering first aid. Lightning was also a problem in Germany. Bolts struck at a children's soccer match. 35 people were taken to hospitals. 3 adults were seriously hurt, including the referee. The game had just finished when lightning suddenly struck. Witnesses say there were no storm clouds in the sky. An SUV did some serious damage to this 7-Eleven. It happened in Oregon. Good news is no one was hurt when the car went through this store. The car barely missed a customer.
Ooh, there it is.
Yeah, there it goes, who had just walked outside. People inside scrambled. Police say the 22-year-old woman who was behind the wheel was driving for the first time and is also deaf. She couldn't hear when her passenger tried telling her how to stop, and that happened just shortly before the crash. But boy, some harrowing
Oh my
moments.
gosh, amazing. Nobody was really seriously injured there.
And just someone had just walked out of the store.
Yikes. Well, experts do have a few tips for one of the best plants to have if you prefer sort of low maintenance gardening.
A lot of people do. And a little boy's passion for the environment catapults him into the viral fame spotlight. Less than 10 years old, a boy in Washington is committed to a cause, protecting the environment, and his passion led to a viral video that made him an internet star. Reporter Katie Rush shows us his mission to save the planet.
Whole planet.
And I bet you he'll do that. What a cute little kid he is. Yeah, that was Katie Rush reporting. Before Henry becomes a park ranger, he's hoping to be a guest on Ellen. And Danielle, I think that just that story alone is going to encourage some people to help save the planet, save some animals in the environment.
Absolutely. Get out and keep this place clean.
He's awesome.
Oh, he was such a doll, and I'm sure he's going to end up on Ellen. Absolutely.
A simple answer from LeBron, and then Kevin Love, who's a spokesperson for chocolate milk, jumped all over the opportunity for a free plug.
So we're going to see his face on like the chocolate milk
Yeah,
carton.
or you can find it, yeah, and that's why he took the opportunity to do so.
Love LeBron just being like,
Yeah.
what?
If
All
we
right,
had the
we didn't have
champagne,
it.
just
We're
water.
not popping bottles tonight.
That's
Not
it.
here anyway.
Quick reminder, Broncos country coming up right after the show as well. We got all kinds of Broncos stuff, including the Ring of Fame announcement that came last week. We caught up with Simon Fletcher at his barbecue joint in Fort Morgan last week, so you don't want to miss that.
Hopefully there's some barbecue.
Yeah, did you bring some back for us?
I
probably
ate
not.
all of it before I ate the road.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. We'll be back. You would.
Yeah.